Welcome to the Audit, Compliance, and Data Intelligence overview. Today, we will show you all features and benefits of audit, compliance, and data intelligence. Here on the home page, we can see the total number of existing dashboards in the system, total number of reports, number of events during last 24 hours, and all the objects in snapshots from all the history of snapshots of eDirectory. Here are some info panels, which may be configured later in the menu administration. Now you see Dashboard Analytics, a list of most frequently used reports, system usage data, and the number of open files. You can monitor disk space, CPU, and RAM usage. Also, at the bottom of this page, there is information about the license and statuses of different services which ACDI uses to work properly. By clicking on the user profile icon, you see the options to switch to the dark mode or minimize the size of the menu bar. One of the main ACDI features is Dashboards, where you can see the data about events in different systems, eDirectory and Active Directory for now. On the Dashboards page, there is an overview of all events in eDirectory. Namely, the number of successful and failed logins, number of enabled and disabled users, locked by intruder, as well as driver, group, and user events. ACDI contains 7 default dashboards, which allow you to audit events in the eDirectory or Active Directory. This is the main NetIQ Audit dashboard. It visualizes data of events in the eDirectory. That also comes to open search in a nice and clear format of graphics, charts, and tables. In order to find an object, you can use the search string. For instance, let's say you need to audit user changes starting with CN/HE. You can see here not only changes in users starting with HE that have taken place today. Let's use quick selectors to see, for example, only what has been modified. By applying the filters, you can check, for instance, the last login time. Now you have the data that the user with the CN/HE has logged in today at a specific time. Dashboards display only raw data. To see processed and readable data, you need to use another tool, Reports. One of the default reports, called NetIQ User's Login Time, will help you with it. You already know from the dashboard data that the user with the CN/HE has the last name Strand, with E in the end. After the last name filter has been applied, the report shows us that there is only one event for the user with last name Strand during the last 30 days. Let's take a closer look and click Run. Here you go. User information with init date stamp. That is, date stamp of a snapshot, which differs from one snapshot to another. There is also the surname, also known as last name info, Strand, and the given name, Heidi. This user logged in on August 14th at 12:34 p.m. Let's go to our dashboards and take a closer look at the ACDI default dashboards. Here you have the Active Directory Audit dashboard. It displays all the events that happened in the Active Directory. Here you can use either the search string or the quick selectors to get the data you need. The Active Directory Event Service works directly with the Active Directory and doesn't require any drivers or connectors through IDM. You can find the configuration options in the Event Service AD, a submenu of administration. The NetIQ Audit dashboard shows data about all events currently taking place or which have taken place in the eDirectory, which are coded by the ACDI driver according to its filters. From the NetIQ driver dashboards, you get the data that comes from the ACDI monitor package using third-party drivers. Currently, in our system, there are 2 drivers, AD driver and HR driver, which are configured to send events data to ACDI. On this page, you see the total number of both success and error events. Let's look at the NetIQ IDM System Overview dashboard next. It provides data for the total number of events in the eDirectory received either from audit by a native driver or from monitoring executed by third-party drivers. The next dashboard, NetIQ Security Dashboard, allows you to monitor and audit various security events, such as user disables and enables, lockouts by an intruder, or failed logins. We may find our ACDI user also in this dashboard. Here you can see that the login for ACDI was disabled by TTP admin1. You can get more detailed event information by expanding the data row. And the last of the default dashboards is the NetIQ Workflow Dashboard. It provides data received from the ACDI Workflow Monitor package. In this dashboard, you see data categorized by name of a workflow, initiator, finish time if a workflow is already finished, overall duration, result and status, recipient, and category. The second main ACDI feature is the reporting system. As mentioned previously, the reporting system allows you to display and process data from a RAW format to a human, more readable one. In the NetIQ Monitor dashboard, we saw that one of our drivers showed lots of error events. So here, the NetIQ Audit Driver Events report will be helpful to get detailed information about the error events. After applying the filter with the error status, the report shows us that during the last 7 days, almost 50,000 events were finished with errors. And you can also see in the connected system that only the Active Directory has error events. So, only one driver from those installed and used in the ACDI Driver Monitor package had errors during these last 7 days. For the object class, there is user. In operation, modify is applied. Let's run the report and check more data. In the report, you see driver name, audit time of the event, and DN of an object from which the event occurred. There is also status doc, a message that contains error info, and the driver channel info, which is limited to subscriber or publisher. Place of auditing gives you information where the auditing was done and is configurable in driver GCV when you install the ACDI Monitor the package. And there is also the event doc with JSON, with the XML of the initial event. In this case, there is a message LDAP attribute value exists, and the data that modify adder name internet email address has add value, but doesn't have remove values. In the Active Directory, there's a single value. Thus, the driver should process the events for internet email address manually and remove a value or values before adding new ones. ACDI also contains a long list of default reports which are to be used to audit various parts of events. The ACDI reporting system can create reports based on schedule. Let's go to the Reports page and use Schedule settings to schedule monthly reports with data about disabled users only. Here you see we choose every month, on the 1st of every month, and the exact time for the reports generating, for instance, 4 minutes past midnight. In the settings, you can also add the email address of reports recipients. The options of export format include CSV, XLSX, and PDF. There are 2 groups of reports. The first group are reports based on snapshots, which show users, groups, roles, and resources data. They are based on the attributes in a relevant source, either eDirectory or Active Directory. And the second group are reports based on events data on object name, attribute which was changed, old and new values. One of the many benefits of the ACDI reporting system is the possibility of combining different indices in one report. For example, it can combine snapshot and audit data, base object and object link by a value. Or it can combine and show attributes that contain DN of requester, recipient, approver, as well as approval and role information. Let's look how data is displayed in reports. We will use the NetIQ Audit Groups report. Let's select the time slot of last 30 days and get the data about the changes in the group admins. As attribute, we will use member. All data related to the changes is now on the screen. You can see that during the last 30 days, the group admins had 2 new members. Let's dive into more detailed information, namely about the members of this group. For this purpose, we can use another default report, the NetIQ Group Membership Report, which is based on data from snapshots. From the data from the last snapshot, we can see that this group has 13 members. When you click on members to expand more information, you get detailed information about each member user. Here we can switch to the flat mode to get the data in an extended table, a row for each member. The search can be conducted vice versa. You can get group data via a user's information. For instance, we want to know which groups a user named Justin Mort is a member of. All necessary filters are applied, so let's run the report. In the report, we can see that this user is a member of 2 groups. The third and the last impressive feature of a .cdi is History Browser, which allows us to monitor the timeline of objects in the eDirectory and the Active Directory. Let's check the important group, admins, with help of the History Browser. At the top of the page, you see the timeline of the group snapshots and all events that happened during the selected time period. With ACDI, you can get data about the current state of an object/objects, or use compare mode to set the real object state from eDirectory from LDAP with a state from the timeline side by side. Let's compare the current object state with the one from July 16th. On the left side, we see the old state, and on the right side, the current one. Let's apply the Show Only Not Equal filter. Now we see that during the selected time period, 5 members were added. And there is also the data about the last modifier's name, modify timestamp, and revisions. Let's assume you want to compare the object state from 2 different periods of time in the past. In the History Browser, we can see that somewhere between the 16th of July and the 14th of August, new members were added to the group. And if you need to, you can use the NetIQ Audit Groups report to check who exactly has added those members to the group. So we see the date, new members, and we see modifiers data. We have 3 modifiers: admin, demo admin, and TTP demo admin. This data can be used to continue the investigation. These have been the main ACDI tools to help you audit and monitor your identity management system.